Maisie coming?
Thank you.
Should we duck around the corner, or is this the plan?
Is surprise what we should shout?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Don't have a heart attack.
He's washing down the clubs, knocking the dirt off the shoes.
Hey, we're home.
Oh,
How you
hey. Good. What's going on? A surprise.
Surprise! And you thought you were going to come take a shower, didn't you?
That's right. It's all hot and sweaty in the shower.
You did good.
Good to see you.
Wow, everybody cleaned up and I made a company.
When did you do that? Jesus.
Let's see all the cars with us.
We surprised you.
Money.
I said we can't come home at 5 because we're going to pick up the cake. How do we do?
Happy birthday, darling.
Thank you.
He really is. Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Where'd you head over to?
You're way too far away.
Like they were coming over.
Actually, no, on the side.
When you get over there,
Oh, really? Yeah, I was shocked. Wow. No.
Were you surprised or what?
I'm surprised. No one would give me out of the house.
just passing,
Yesterday I'm like,
just filming everybody.
I'd like Terrell Davis over sometime.
Yeah.
Left a message. All right.
Somebody wished me below par. I wish it had been about 5 hours ago because it didn't happen.
Give your wife my card, she can send me some of these pictures.
Okay.
Be okay?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. I'm just gonna muck them up.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
See, now I can shoot better. This is the magic shirt. I need that.
Certainly wasn't the one you wore the first 9 this
I
morning.
know, the back 9 was coming in. I knew it was coming.
There's 2 guys with AT&T shirts golfing with us.
Put on your hat, Uncle Mike. Thank you.
That's great.
Get a picture of that.
Now that portfolio has to wear hats.
Sit, boys, sit.
Thank you.
That
We'll
was
have
good,
him
thank
pose
you.
when he gets his fairy wand in his hat.
You were a little more subtle about moving those gowns.
Wow.
Okay, think of the front. No, that's your
Next thing
invitation.
nobody yells at
The
me.
front's
I don't yell at them
the other
anymore.
side.
Thank you, dear.
That's yours. Yeah.
What does it
That's from the Wilsons.
Oh. Thank you.
Read it out loud.
Read out loud, Mike.
Come on.
Mike, you may be 40, but don't you dare kick this bucket of fun. And we'll leave this next week.
Yeah.
Sunblock. The wife always says, have you put sunblock on?
I say the same thing.
Hawaii, man.
I'll leave this for the rest of my deal, thank you. It's a corkscrew. Ah,
Hey,
That's the worst thing I've seen him do.
I've never tried this one. Does it work?
Stepford children. Where'd you get them? The program? Program, did you?
I know, but not right now, thank you.
Oh, they've left. Thank you, Tom and Kristen.
Thank you.
oh no.
Is that
I
from
told him I'm gonna
Wow, beginning middle age.
Send me pictures. Pretty please. Would that be okay?
Strawberries or blueberries?
I haven't tried these before.
I'm good for
You
now.
guys?
Yes.
Yeah, so you said you're a carpenter.
I'm a video guy.
Okay,
Go
what's the
ahead.
cake?
Ladies,
No, thank you.
Thank you.
I left your Depends in the truck.
I'm asking everybody.
Okay.
Thank you, Aunt Shirley.
We're just playing with it or what?
No.
Ah, these we can put to good use.
I just hope I don't hope they have a boat.
Is it like
It's
the
been a long
custard
time coming down
in
here.
the front?
Ah, an over-the-hill fairy wand.
That was maybe a bell so you don't get lost on the way around the house at night.
My fairy wand.
Damn thing, I'm like, I know I left my keys in one of the bathrooms. Where the hell is it? It's ridiculous. I'm gonna run up and take a
Wave the
shower.
wand and close your eyes. Remember youth and how time flies. Wish out loud your wrinkles vanish. Your old age blues soon will banish. Jump up and down and roll on the ground. The wand will search till youth is found. Now wave the wand and hope once more you'll feel young forevermore.
Wave the wand.
We'll take a whole of you on.
No, it's in the light.
Ah,
Thank you.
I just read wand angle. Sorry.
I don't know how you could marry that ugly thing.
40 years old, candles on your cake, inches around your waist. Second it takes to forget what you were looking for. Times each night you have to get out of bed to pee. Miles an hour you drive on the freeway. Minutes of every hour you spend reminiscing on your youth.
40.
All of the above. Thank you, Aunt Brenda.
You're welcome, dear.
Ah, an over-the-hill survival kit. Anti-aging soap. We have hair dye. We have oil of old age. We have a piece of rope that's our dietary fiber. And some false teeth. I withdraw the thank you. Oh, you know you're over the hill when?
That's a long time.
Amen.
You're 20 around the collar, 50 around the waist, and 125 around the golf course. If you were a horse, they would have shot you by now.
Oh, that's cold.
You're low on octane and high on gas. Giddy up, giddy downs. Oh, Great balls of fire referrals. Instead of marching to a beat of a different drummer, you march to the beat of your pacemaker. You can't find your glasses without your glasses. That's actually true, actually. Oh, we have a hat switch. Tease me about my cane.
Where do they find these?
This one will go up with the elephant.
That is funny.
Who had the beard in that picture?
Funny.
It's full of cute little sayings and memes.
Harvey and Howard. Where'd they go? Thank you, Harvey and Howard.
There he is.
When I remember, it was very good.
Howard Gnarly.
Very talented, Christopher.
Oh,
I didn't want anybody to look, right?
not. Holding it to the blood.
He is so funny.
Ah, a wine stopper to go with the opener. Wow. I thought I was young.
Thought it was funny.
Christopher. Okay, wait, I didn't.
Uh-oh.
Shift.
Here we go. We're in the kitchen. Thank you. Whether I hear on Monday or not, I'll be mainlining that. Daniel.
Diane?
Lee.
They left.
Diane, yeah.
I
Oh,
think she had to leave.
oh. Well, thank you.
Yeah. She says they can go there a lot.
I do.
Get those too. Somebody's gonna have to read that. Either you're gonna read it or your sister's gonna read it.
Oh, I think she
Michael.
Someone got
You want to let your daughter read it?
This is precious.
Hey, Aunt Mary.
I think Michael should read it.
Stand next to your brother.
Make
You wanna
him
read
read it.
like an ode to a brother.
Yeah, my baby
I don't do ode to myself.
Kimberly, go stand next to your brother. And ode him over there.
She's afraid he'll hit her.
About 3.5 and as happy as could be when Mom and Dad had a surprise for me. The concept was strange, I didn't quite get it. A baby, they said. I couldn't quite credit. Way back then you didn't know if pink or blue was the way to go. So Mom and Dad gave him the name of Katinka. Switching to Michael for me proved quite a stinka. I don't remember his babyhood days. The time passed so quickly I was in a daze. We had a basement where we played and were mellow, and Michael, my brother, was a happy young fellow. My brother was bold, he wasn't shy. If he found an audience, oh, what a guy. Our mom, she did sing in the choir so sweet. We went to choir practice, played with friends. What a treat. Red light, green light was one of our favorite games. A long, dark church hallway. The game wasn't tame. Some inspired person did jump out and shriek, scared my dear little brother. You should have heard him squeak. He was off like a rocket, blind fear in his eye, right through the safety glass window. Oh my. The game, it got quiet. My brother I grabbed. Glass crunched underfoot. The whole gang was sad. The glass fell from Michael, his hair and his clothes, but nary a scratch from his nose to his toes. The worst of this story was still yet to come. We had to confess to our choir-singing moms. One time I remember Mom left us outside with such dire warnings to behave and abide. Well, I was just perfect and never a bother, but there went my brother, a fountain to plunder. He walked around the edge. I said, "Don't, you'll fall." Did he listen to me? Not at all, not at all. The end of the story you know, don't you see? He fell in the fish fountain, water lilies on his knees. The worst of this story was still yet to come when he had to expose his wet state to our mom. Did he always find trouble? Oh no, not he. He did go to school, and did he ever speed? Through reading, through math, he breezed through them all. My brother, you see, was the smartest of all. Lest you think he was heartless and only just smart, the tale of our Thumper I now will impart. A little wild bunny we kids did acquire. Please, can't we keep him? Desperately we inquired. But no, we were heading to Florida for vacation. We'll find a nice field and let him go free to play with wild bunnies out under the trees. We drove quite some miles, our Thumper we petted. Dad found a place even though we had fretted. Out we marched to the field, my brother and I. We set down our bunny and didn't quite cry. But wait, our Thumper, he did not hop away. He leaped back to the bag. Gosh, he wanted to stay. We looked at each other, our feet, then the bag. We popped him back in. There was no crying jag. Our faces were solemn, as happy children's could be. All done? Asked our father. Oh yes, we said gleefully. A few miles did pass before the mother antenna did rise up and question our giddy dementia. Finally we fessed up and dear Thumper went free. Our parents now began studying our faces most carefully. St. Louis was such a swell place to grow up that Dad's work took us to Texas, kids, bird, and the pup. We moved to Beaumont, the great piney woods, no cactus, no sagebrush. This was really quite good. Soon I was dating about this old time. The highlight came early, as I will confide. The doorbell it rang, my date had appeared. My brother had opened the door, and I hear, "That's your brother? That's your date?" Then the story unfolded. My date was a lifeguard last summer, and yes, my dear brother swam there with the other guests. It seems our dear Michael took frogs, don't you see, and threw them at girls, and met Kenny indeed. But again, he had heart, and boy does it show. When I ripped off the garage frame backing up, gosh, oh no. I knew I had had it. My freedom was gone. I was so upset I backed over the lawn. My brother was quiet, no chuckle or smirk. By the time I rushed back for my errand, it worked. Yes, the door, it was working, the molding back on. From that day forward, I knew it was clear. We took up for each other, and our love was so dear. Dad's work called again out of old Houston town, but I went to college in Austin, and I wasn't around. Michael's prowess at learning was plain now to see. I oftentimes wished that I now were he. His high school career was a GPA delight. SATs were no trouble. He didn't stay up all night. He met Tad, John, and Ben, and the Four Musketeers, found much to amuse them in their high school years. But that heart it was showing, that heart it was great. I came home from college and a thrill did await. He'd gone and bought tickets and took me to see the singing Gibb brothers known as the Bee Gees. No special occasion, he said, just because. But gosh, I remember, it still gives me pause. His college career was frightening too. No grades were too good for our Michael to do. An Aggie, a Longhorn, and one family tree. It's a good thing he took me to see those Bee Gees. After college, we learned an adventurer loomed. Before working at Chevron, he took off to explore. 6 weeks spent in Europe, such a lucky young man, then off to California, his rigs to expand. Sometime he decided that the only way to get where he was headed was an MBA. He sold his speedy red Porsche in Chicago. Who'd need it? He bought my little white Toyota. Well, gosh, who would steal it? An MBA earned. His first job was in Houston. We'd really be near him, gosh darn and no fooling. But wait, that looming adventure bug took him off to Asia, his backpack to lug. Now this uncle thing with my Amanda and Chris, he never thought he would hear language like this. Don't eat dirt, don't pull tails, please don't sit on your brother. He learned quite a lot from his sis, the young mother. He also would marvel when he opened the door to a fully stocked kitchen. He just ran to the store. Time marches on, we were stuck on the shore. Michael took us all boating, and we didn't use oars. My children, they mumbled, they bellyached and complained. It was hot, they were hungry, oh, they had a pain. My brother's face tightened, he thought, what a treat. But a day on the lake with my kids wasn't sweet. The thing I have told him, the thing he must know, is the legend of Uncle Mike's boat trip did grow. Amanda and Chris just remember how sweet it was hanging on inner tubes, the water so neat. My children dearly love their uncle, it's plain. But confusion when he remained alone, it did pain. My son said he thought he'd never live to see the day when his uncle would settle down, marry, and stay. When Mary Ann's name in our conversation did slip, my children asked with such impatience and zip, well, when do we meet her? We can't wait and sit for the lady who made our dear uncle's heart flip. This spring she came calling, and my children did say, we like her, we hope that she stays. Now you know more than a little about my dear little brother and his one older sister who always has loved him.
Very good.
Thank you.
Go hug your.
Frogs, huh?
Go hug your.
Frogs.
Take your brother.
Little green
Forget
ones,
that.
about half an
Go.
inch. They're really good for throwing.
Kimberly,
Take your brother. Go.
she really, she did so fast. Yeah, I mean, she's just.
That's what she didn't know where to send it.
Ah,
Oh my
I got this one.
goodness.
This one.
That's cute.
This one's open.
They're so cute.
Yeah, I wrote it. Oh, okay. You got mine.
Where's that one for Largo?
It's there on the table somewhere.
We'll find it.
Probably this one.
No.
You want to shoot?
Say shoot.
In the water. Up, all the way.
He's good at finding things.
Here, take over.
Take
over.
One more camera.
You can just hold it right
Dad, you
here.
can't open
This thing is
Just
half.
kind of keep it.
Oh, that's
right
good.
off the mic. You okay?
it. All right.
Me too.
All right, here, let me get this.
You're a doll.
I don't know where it is, Carol. That one from Largo.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
We'll find it. You're 40, do something that brings back memories of your wild youth. Play an album. Or an 8-track. Who is this from? Who do I do this? Toast to your 40th birthday. Prune juice. Do enjoy yourself. Alright, you're playing for men's team.
It's a hard case for golf clubs.
That's very nice.
I thought it was for his Tommy gun.
Or her rifle.
No, I brought it in and I.
Oh, I had
It's
to.
a girl for around them.
Yeah.
Is our car there? Huge. Nothing there.
Son, if you're waiting for a birthday card that says you're really special and loved a lot, you got it. Also, happy birthday. Thank you.
Yes, please. Okay.
Your Aunt Laura sent you a card and she sent it to us because she didn't want to spoil the surprise.
Oh, that was nice.
And she has a picture in there that's priceless.
A picture that's priceless. Wow.
Yeah, it's priceless.
All of them. Didn't quite all right, but you know. Hey.
Go around the table, Mike.
It was
Oh.
in the envelope, so I don't know.
Is that the?
Is that the envelope sitting up?
How long did that take? I probably worked on it about 3 years. Yeah, and then, you know, kind of after you start, the initial thing, we go back and really.
Yeah. No, it's a
We do this with my husband's family, and yeah, we do this.
Mary Ann went to
says that we always,
Great Lakes.
someone's always like,
She did. She surprised me. That's hard to
Great.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, when a gal does that, she's pretty
yeah.
terrific.
And it's just nobody else gets 15, you know, like street, and I think on the way home, we're gonna live forever. Did you see it?
We're saying it's easy.
you know,
do. Great.
he is like,
There it is.
Golf.
I can't.
Oh, yeah. the-
Oh, is that one of the
You gotta live here.
Is that one?
It's hard to.
Oh, is that let's use film or is it use?
Yeah, does you swim sound? But doesn't use the regular. You can actually talk the film.
They do a lot of that.
No, it was.
Is that right?
Wow.
There's always somebody getting hungry.
Oh, this was nice.
You like that?
We
Me
got
too.
a card at Christmas.
Did you read your poem? Did you remember that poem?
No.
What was that? My dad's from the family.
When was this?
You wrote that in high school.
Carol.
I did. I did. Really?
Oh, I figured you probably would.
Wow.
I think I was just
I didn't remember that.
What's funny is he did all those.
Jeez.
He did. Plus, something about falling in, I fell in.
Bye. Thanks. We will make the next one. I think we're hosting it live.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Hello. Stand at the mic.
Nice meeting you.
Whether it freezes dry.
I can't do this thing.
I haven't looked at it. It's
Sorry. Okay, turn this off. You turn it off now, Chris.
How?
That's good.
Sometimes you might really
I'm
forget, but.
gonna
In a moment you can.
Smile, Dad. Can I come back? You want to go play pool?
I don't think so. Wait tomorrow. Wow, that is wild. Never seen one that red.